This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Stick around until the end of this video to hear an offer from today's sponsor, Sheath. Fourth indictment has dropped. Today's a good day. Today's one of those days where I feel vindicated. So many people said this will never happen. And of course, this is the fourth indictment of Donald Trump, so it's not like super special, but it kind of is in the fact that he is now in a case that gravely endangers him and his co-conspirators in a way that is not pardonable by a president. You see, a president's pardon power applies only federally. The way that our founders set up the country was both state power and federal power, and they are separate and different and distinct. So this fourth indictment's a big deal. I got a statement I'm going to read. Get ready for that. It'll be in true... people clamoring on Twitter and in the comments for, I can't wait for the statement. But before I do, very briefly, what I want to do is talk about the 41-count indictment that involved 19 people. And there are some who are not in there who should be, or at least I think should be, which would allude to me to think about why. Like, why is Lindsey Graham not among the 19 human beings indicted on a spectrum of crimes when he absolutely made a call to Georgia officials pressuring them to overturn the results of the election? Tom Fitton, the guy with the little tiny t-shirts that he wears and the little polos that he wears, where's he? He's the head of Judicial Watch, even though he's not a lawyer, but he's giving legal advice that is taken eagerly by Donald Trump. Speaking of Donald Trump, I'm just going to rapid fire read through these charges that he is facing in this indictment, this first indictment. There very well could be a superseding indictment adding to the charges, replacing this indictment with more charges. Here's what Donald Trump is suspected of, accused of. All felonies, violation of the Georgia RICO, which is the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act, solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, conspiracy to commit filing false documents, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, filing false documents, solicitation of violation of oath of office by public officer, false statements and writings, solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, and false statements and writings. Donald Trump is a former president of the United States of America who is in a clear conspiracy with these others to overturn a free and fair, settled American election. And now, while he whines that this is a witch hunt, while he whines that this is the deep state, Democrats, radical left coming after him, you need to be reminded that absolutely, without doubt, this case was predicated upon, built upon a foundation of Republican testimony. The January 6th committee almost exclusively interviewed Republicans. They are the bedrock upon which this case is built, the federal case and the Georgia case. And now that all of these different disparate municipalities and investigators are doing the diligent work of investigating what went on, they're probably going to be sharing information, and there's going to be a more fulsome understanding for all of us of exactly what went on. So 41-count indictment of 19 people. This is not just a Trump problem. This is absolutely, as I've mentioned, a Republican problem. The indictment spells out several of Trump's attempts to pressure Governor Kemp and other state Republican leaders to overturn the election results. This indictment, this 98, 99, 100-page indictment goes through in great detail outlining the crimes. So when I read these statements, I'm going to read 2 True Social posts and one well, not all of it, maybe just the first couple sentences of this campaign statement. You need to remember that this isn't just like, oh, here's what we think he did. We'll see what we get to. There is great detail outlining what went on. This is evidence. These are quotes. These are interviews. There is surveillance footage. There are text messages and emails. Donald Trump is guilty. He's dead to rights. It's a big deal, a huge deal. So without further ado, let's get to what everybody wants, or maybe many people want. There's probably people who hate this, but, you can't please everybody. Also, let me say this before I move on. I'm subbing for David Pakman today. I did the videos late last night. So if this wasn't enough information, trust me, there's a lot of information in the video I did over there. It's the sign of a really successful YouTuber when they say, if this isn't for you, go over to another dude's channel and check out that video. So here we go.
Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America.
I'm tired. I'm running seriously like 2 hours of sleep, and it's not great. So here is the statement. Like Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, deranged Jack Smith, and New York AG Letitia James, Fulton County, Georgia's radical Democrat District Attorney Fani Willis is a rabid partisan who is campaigning and fundraising on a platform of prosecuting President Trump through these bogus indictments. It's always funny to me, Donald Trump always says that they're campaigning and it's a campaign. Donald Trump is campaigning by attacking these people. Donald Trump is doing the thing that he says they're doing, but they're not. Donald Trump is raising millions of dollars. I mean, his legal bills at this point are like nearing $50 million that are being paid for by small donations, largely. Projection. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but here is here's a Truth Social post. There's 2 of these, and they are pretty meaty, pretty bizarre. This is from 1:28 this morning. So the witch hunt continues. 19 people indicated, again with the indicated. 19 people indicated tonight, including the former president of the United States, me, by an out-of-control and very corrupt district attorney who campaigned and raised money on I will get Trump. And what about those indictment documents put out today, long before the grand jury even voted, and then quickly withdrawn? Sounds rigged to me. Why didn't they indict 2.5 years ago? Because they wanted to do it in the middle of my political campaign. Witch hunt. Well, look, there's very clear, easy explanations for why there might be a draft of the indictment that was released. It's that they know what the indictments they're seeking are. They don't know whether the grand jury is going to approve them, to vote to indict. So wouldn't you think it would be expeditious on the part of the prosecutors to have the draft ready to go to save the time? Do you think it makes any sense at all, Republicans, Donald Trump, that they would go to the grand jury, present the case, go through all of the effort, and then wait until it actually is voted upon, that there's an indictment, they get what's called a true bill, and then they go back to their desks and type out the indictment? It doesn't make any sense at all. It sounds rigged to me. No, it doesn't, Donald Trump. So he got a couple hours sleep, came back, 8:49 a.m., True Social. A large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report. Large, complex, detailed, and irrefutable, capitalized for some reason, on the presidential election fraud, capitalized for some reason, which took place in Georgia, is almost complete and will be presented by me at a major news conference, capitalized for some reason, at 11 a.m. on Monday of next week in Bedminster, New Jersey, based on the results of this conclusive report, capitalized for some reason, all charges should be dropped against me and others. There will be a complete exoneration! Exclamation point. They never went after those that rigged the election, rigged an election, capitalized for some reason. They only went after those that fought to find the riggers. Riggers. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I know I say that all the time, and people they don't like it. But it is true. We can wait for the flourishes and encouragement of the MAGA mob to commit violent acts. The uptick in the attacks against the prosecutor and whoever ends up presiding over this case in Georgia, they are going to continue. And my advice, my non-lawyer advice to prosecutors going forward is to get ahead of his threats. Get ahead of the violence that he will try to foment. Because if you don't, you will be endangering your lives and the lives of your staff and their families. Because Donald Trump will stop at nothing to extricate himself, even if it is through illegal means. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Like I said, this isn't the full, it's a 100-page document, so it's not like I'm going to read the whole thing or something. You're over the days, there's going to be little elements that we're going to be getting to. You can count on that. But like I said, if you want to watch the video that I did over on David Pakman's show today, that should be dropping very, very soon. I would encourage you to do so. If you appreciate what I do and you want to help support my work, click that join button, become a channel member, hit the super thanks button. Go over to my Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. You can find me on social media everywhere. I'm at Dollemore, and I cannot wait to go through this with all of you. I'll see you next time. Be genuine, take care of one another, and hang on for an important message from the sponsor of today's video, Sheath. I'm not sure where you live, but here in DC right now, the weather is an actual inferno. Walking out the door feels like you're stepping into a furnace. During these stifling months of summer, you have to do whatever you can to keep cool. One major defense against the unbearable heat, Sheath underwear. The underwear that I actually wear every single day. Designed by a U.S. military member while in Iraq, talk about hot, Sheath Underwear's dual pouch system ensures your package won't stick to your leg and also allows air to circulate around your eagle by separating it from the old nest. Because of this technology, Sheath are recommended by multiple doctors and urologists and have over 20,000 five-star reviews. Tired of your berries sticking to your twig? Head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore to score 20% off right now. Sheath comes in tons of designs and patterns and will arrive at your doorstep nearly instantly thanks to blindingly fast shipping and amazing customer service. My current favorites are the Airflow Mesh series, as they seem especially equipped for the sauna that is Washington, D.C. Oh, and Sheath also supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders. So you're not just doing good for yourself, you're doing good for the world simply by protecting the family jewels. The future of underwear is right now. Go to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore to score 20% off of the underwear that will change your life. The old D's and the B's will thank you.